my sunshine in the rain.
The country is on election watch as there is the general feeling it could be called anytime soon. As such, we continue our political focus, and this morning in our face-off, we welcome the candidates for the East St. Andrew constituency, Member of Parliament, Junior Minister in the Ministry of Security, Dr. St. Aubyn Bartlett, and the People's National Party's first-time candidate, Andre Hylton. Gentlemen, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. All right, let's go straight into it and ask, is it fair to say that we are seeing a changing of the political landscape, given all that is happening, the 39-year-old Prime Minister, the call for the dismantling of garrisons and all of that? Are we seeing a changing of the landscape?
We are seeing major changes in the political landscape. As a matter of fact, over the last 3 elections, I would say that or 4 elections, we have seen major changes in the political landscape. We have seen a Jamaican political system today that is much more friendly. We're seeing one in which there is less violence. We're seeing one in which the world is commending Jamaica on its system of voting. Gone are the days when ballot boxes were hijacked and all of those sort of things. We're seeing now one man, one vote, same man, same vote, and that is highly commendable for the Jamaica political landscape and system.
I do agree. And in the People's National Party, we have 31 new candidates that will be contested in the next general election. And I know Damon Crawford may make it 32. So that says something. And a lot of being young, persons who are never usually involved with politics, like myself, who has decided to serve Jamaica. So I think we have made some excellent moves. The introduction of electronic voting, which I think is one of the first moves during the last administration of dismantling garrison politics. And that I believe will make a significant difference. Also, the choking off of all or most of the drug lords with the drug money and the guns that supplied a lot of the garrison. Those were initiatives, and we see the last mantra falling earlier this year. Hence, there is a huge difference. And finally, there's a lot of Jamaicans who are now realizing that politics is too important to be left only to politicians. You have to get involved, and if at least exercise your right to vote on election day.
All right, let's zone in specifically at your constituency now. What are some of the major concerns of the citizens within the constituency which are not being addressed from your position, Mr. Hylton?
They're very basic. Roads, I mean, whether it be Beverly Hills, or it be Augustown, or Jarrett Lane, or Standpipe, or Mona Commons, or Tavern, roads are in a most deplorable condition. The next, I believe, is a lack of or not enough representation and access to representation. We have simple things like garbage not being collected 3 weeks a month in some areas. And those are basic amenities that people want. And in addition, the huge cry for employment, which is not just a constituency issue, but it plays out on the ground. Everywhere you go, people are need a work or need some sort of employment, and those are some basic things. And you know,
you're the incumbent. How will you respond to that?
You see, well, one of the things that I would say about Andre, it seems as if he is unaware of the fact that, in Jarrett Lane and Saunders Lane, the entire community, it was only earlier this year that the official opening was there for all the roadways in that area. Yes, like a lot of other parts in Jamaica, a cry is road, cry is on unemployment. We have had historically very high unemployment in some of the major, some of the inner city areas in the constituency. And we are working, as a matter of fact, in those areas to ensure that through education, that more of the young men primarily will be able to, get themselves in a position where they.
How are you doing that? How are you doing that? Because we're not seeing. How are you doing that?
Through education. Through education. For example, I have an education program in the constituency. I think it's second to none in the country. In this last year here, I've given 294 scholarships valued over $6 million in the constituency to young people. This is from secondary school all the way to university. In the last 4 years, we have given 860 of those scholarships to students, and in the last 9 years, over 1,500 of those scholarships. So these are ways. It's a small way of addressing a bigger problem, but everything that you do, you have to start from the beginning. A house that is being built starts from the first block, and so those are things that you have to do. There is something that we have to recognize, and in the constituency, for example, in Mona Heights and Beverly Hills and Hope Pasture, the infrastructure there has been out of service for a very, very, very long time. Whenever you have roads that begin to really show scurfing, then one of the things that you really need to do is to have them resurfaced and completely rehabilitated. What we've been doing is patching. We have a major patching program that is coming up now for Mona Heights. I expect that the contract will be signed this morning. There will be a major rehabilitation program from Mona all the way down to August.
All right, I want to get both of you. All right, I want to get both of you to chime in on this because squatting has been an age-old problem, particularly in the Mona Commons area, adjacent to UWI. How do you plan on tackling that? Is that an issue that both of you consider significant enough now to deal with? Andre, let me hear you first of all.
Squatting is a problem in Eastern St. Andrew, and it's a problem in Jamaica, because as you know, a lot of our people were disenfranchised, and people came to the urban areas looking for better life, and then it's squatting all around the place. It's something that has to be dealt with. There are some instances where the squatting can be formalized. There are instances there may have to be removed. Now, in an area like Mona Commons, where we know it's a challenge for both for the residents, because some of them have been there before the university, and it's a challenge for the university and so on. We have to find a solution to that. In my estimation, in a short, medium term, we need to first of all at least fix the front of it, create a lay-by so there's better access, get some proper shops established, the place looks decent, and in the long term we're looking at ultimate removal, but that has to be done with the adequate resources and so on. So some of those things are, I've been discussing those with members of the Mona Commons communities. I've been discussing it with the university, and I think that sort of discussion needs to take place. So we have to look at both sides of the fence and find amicable solutions. For those areas. All
right, before we get your response, we have to take a break. All right, it's our political face-off this morning. The candidates for the East St. Andrew constituency, St. Aubyn Bartlett and Andre Hylton. We'll be back after this. All right, it's still our focus on the politics, and we are speaking with Andre Hylton of the People's National Party and Dr. St. Aubyn Bartlett. All right, you were to respond to the whole question of the squatting in the Mona Commons area.
And particularly in Mona Common, it's really, it's a black spot, so to speak, in the constituency, and particularly to the University of the West Indies. Just across from the gate of the University of the West Indies Hospital is the largest teaching hospital in the Caribbean. What is going on there can really affect the accreditation of the hospital, and so it is not good for us at all. I think that, several attempts were made to have that area regularized from the days of my brother Ed Bartlett when he was Member of Parliament for the constituency. And it is interesting to note that when he was seeking to have those people removed from there. At the time, there weren't so many people there at all. And you know, he was really drawn over the coal for doing that, because there were people who saying these poor people, they did not have anywhere to go, and it became a political issue. The People's National Party, you know, made a lot of noise about it. Even some church members made noise about it. You know, the problem is that the same church that was making noise about it today, when they have service, they have to get, you know, protection for offerings that they have, that they get from church on Sundays.
All right.
So it's a serious matter. It's a serious matter, and it has become a political football. It has become one in which, you know, there is a attempt in some quarters to try and remove all of those people and put at one place. I have been in that community.
Yes.
There are a number of people in that community who want to be out of that community and who want alternative place to live. One of my recommendations in the short term right now is for the university hospital to relocate its gate. Because I think if the university hospital gate is relocated further up in in front of the market in Papine, then it will remove the amount of commerce and peddling that goes on right in front of the.
All right. What I want to ask you about, because you were accused at some time by your constituents of being an absentee MP. There was even a protest expressing that concern. What has changed, if any?
Oh no, that's you know, that's. I wouldn't even go into that, because you know, that was back before the 2007 election, and this absentee MP who has done so much, the people came out in greater numbers and voted for me with even a greater majority in 2007.
Andre, would you react to that?
That is gone. That is gone.
The people of Eastern St. Andrew will judge Dr. Bartlett at the next election. I'm not here to say how many times he has been in the constituency. What I have observed and what I have picked up traveling throughout the constituency is a lack of representation. It's not just being present, which is good, but it is representing the issues in the constituency. And
those issues are not being addressed by the Member of Parliament, you're saying?
The question is, what are the issues that you're talking about? They're not being addressed. What are the issues that you're talking about?
We have a long list. You know? We have an overflow gully in Augustown that runs through Augustown that is now threatening lives. We have the issue of the Hope River has not been addressed. We have, as I said, the roads. We have the issue of Goldsmith Villa, an area that has been crying out for light ends to get water in this modern time. We have the issue of Augustown sometimes cannot get a drip of water out of their pipes. We have the issue of places like Beverly Hills has to be careful how they drive on the roads. I mean, there's tons of things that I wouldn't even, it makes no sense to go and start, because I don't want to get into the business of bashing my friend. The issue of community. The community.
So you're saying the issues are not being addressed, and Dr. Bartlett isn't addressing the issues.
Gentlemen, if you decide to start, but you can't.
Well, he can't, because we have to stop now. Yes.
But if you start and ask him to talk about issues that are not being addressed.
But you address the issues too, and you're saying that but you addressed it. You said that you addressed the issues. All right, the final 30 seconds of you.
The issues that he's speaking about, and here again, what Andre is doing, Andre is talking about areas that are predominantly PNP areas, and when you come and talk about
the
issues
PNP
from
areas aren't being
no, the entire constituency, solid constituency, because all areas in the constituency, the issues are addressed. But you see, remember that the constituency is also a part of Jamaica, and the whole issue of infrastructure in Jamaica is one of the greatest problems.
All right, we have to run.
When you see problem here,
Doctor,
you also see
we have
problem.
To run. Sorry, Doctor, we have to run. I want to thank you so very much for your time this morning, Dr. Aubyn Bartlett. Yes, that's how it is. It's a five furlong race. Dr. Aubyn Bartlett and Andre Hylton, I want to thank you so very much.